I'm back. So part two, this is great actually, because I was able to pull up my tracker that I use to transfer from my handwritten tracker. So every day I put the objective, the class. I had a boatload of classes last year, as you can see. But I am able to say, all right, so how many kids, let's find a good example. Here, 10th grade, my objective on September 7th was they can use Google to find a data set and Google Sheets to create table chart and analysis of the data set. So in my 10th grade class, right here, 25 out of 28 of them were able to do that. 89%, that was their daily percentage. My other class had 100%, that was their daily percentage. So I love using my data tracker because it shows me trends. This is the beginning of the year when everyone is fresh and back at school. My numbers are a lot higher, but as the semester progresses and things get harder, the numbers may tend to drop, and you'll see that more in RP 3 and 4, but it just gives me a good reflection of like what actually is happening every day. I'm actually going to find using this a lot easier this year since we're using mastery-based grading. The kid did it or they didn't do it, it's black and white. It's very clear. I think it'll align nicely with what I have been trying to do in my classroom over the past couple years to track mastery. Just a sidebar, I know I'm very extra and I do this. You don't all have to do this, but these are just some ideas of resources that I found useful, in crafting my practice, and might offer you some ideas of things to do. So just keep that in mind. So again, back to working toward SLGs, daily data collection. Schedule formative and summative assessments. If you do not know the difference between formative and summative, essentially this means that you should have opportunities for kids to be working toward a goal or giving them a portfolio or a project that they're able to work on, receive feedback, and then go back and revise, and summative assessments. So those should be things like tests, quizzes, projects, portfolios that are one and done, graded, that's it. That really shows what a kid knows. I have attached a video here that I watched in my undergrad. It's Rick Romelli, who is a very esteemed, and I think he's one of my favorite educational theorists. The video is attached for you to watch, but he does a really nice breakdown of the difference between formative and summative. I encourage that you watch it. He is more concise than I am in explaining this. And finally, oops, my bad, your SLG reflection. So Badger is going to ask us at the end of every RP to reflect on how did you do. The best advice that I can give you is root your reflection in data. I collect a lot of data, so I have a lot of black and white reflection. This is my reflection from RP 3. I color code it, so green means in my reflection that I met it. Orange is like, I kind of got there. Here's why I think I got there, because I saw progress toward it, but we didn't quite hit the mark. And then red is didn't happen. So this shows that my 8th graders last year for typing, they were kind of there. In RP3, I didn't do so much typing. I kind of backed off of it because we had other things to do, and that kind of hurt me because my kids didn't hit the 42 words per minute baseline, but most of them did grow by about 5 words per minute. My 10th graders hit the mark. They got there, which was great. And then I offer a reflection why I did or did not hit a certain mark. I do think through math with my kids. This is a data report that I inserted in here. A reflection on my reading. And then again, I copy and paste that data of how did the kids do in each class on certain assessments, what were the marks, so that I can then reflect on it. Again, this is a lot. I acknowledge that I'm extra, but the principle of rooting your reflection in data, I think, is valid. It also makes your life easier because essentially you don't have to come up with justification for whether or not your kids are hitting or not hitting the mark. So this is also attached for you to see. Oh, and again, when you're reflecting, be solutions oriented. Badger is going to ask you, what are you going to do next? What are your next steps? Root those next steps in data. So if my kids did not hit the mark for typing, why is it that they're not? Is it because they're getting distracted? They're not coming in quickly enough to the classroom and starting on their typing due now? Is it because the websites I'm using aren't good? Is it because they're not getting enough time or enough practice? Why is it? Try to be solutions oriented and solve. And also be honest, as you'll see here in my document, I think that one of my SLGs, 2 of them are green. The rest of them are yellow. And that shows that they're working toward progress. But again, I'm being honest. There's no red on here. I have had red on my SLGs before, and that's okay. It just shows this is what the goal was. I didn't hit it, and this is why. Just as long as you're being reflective about your practice. And that's it, my friends. Resources are attached. So I have attached my SLGs from last year, my reflection, and my data tracker. I also encourage you to watch the video, the Rick Wormelli video. It's very informative, summarizes what formative and summative assessments are nicely. You are welcome to reach out to me with any questions. That's my cell number, my email. I hope that this is all useful information for you. And again, for the last time, these are just tips and suggestions that I offer to you. Ultimately, how you interpret and craft your SLGs is going to be representative of your teaching practice and what you want you and your kids to accomplish. That's it. Thank you.